It's time to ask a different question.
Hey, Creating Maven. I'm Joy Spencer, your Reframe specialist, with one important message. Your real work, it's not your job or your career. Your real work is what you create. And what you create is what sets you apart and makes you incomparable. It's your legacy. I'm here to show you a whole new way of working so you can create with your gifts, make a unique contribution, and finally get paid to be yourself. This is Reframe to Create.
Have you ever created something beautiful with others? When I answered this question for myself, I remember my 10th grade high school class and when we put on our school-wide carnival. I also remember the halftime basketball choreographed dances my friends and I used to put on. And I remember putting on 2 different retreats in collaboration with like-minded women. And in all of these experiences, the sum total was greater than all the parts. We came together and with one vision, created something beautiful. I'm sure you've had similar experiences of creating beauty together with others. But in my work, I've observed something interesting recently. A team struggling to work well together. And you know what was at the bottom of all of this? Misalignment on their story. They didn't all share the same story about who they were and what they were there to do, what they were there to create. There were competing identities and competing work narratives. And this competition made it really hard to create together. In fact, it made it impossible. Without a singular forward-moving story, that forward-moving vision, they were not able to create together. And every team is like this. You've probably had that experience as well on teams that you've been a part of. In order for teams to be one united team, they need one story. And that one story helps them to create one big united contribution together. Without it, everything fragments. Seeing this more recently in my work has reminded me that it's time for me to ask a different question. If you've been here from the beginning at this point, over a 4-year journey with Reframe to Create, or even if you just joined, then you know what I'm all about. It's in the name. The end goal is to get you to create amazing things with your gifts. The goal is to help you create with your gifts. Own what you create and learn how to tell powerful stories about what you create so that you can get paid to be you. Because I believe that your work is not your job or your career. Your work is what you create. And what you create is the only legacy you'll be able to leave behind. It's your unique contribution. And the road to looking at your work so differently from how everyone else does it is through the reframe. It's through not just telling stories, but you yourself becoming restoried. It's about getting a complete narrative shift on work so that you can move and exist differently and create differently. That's the whole reframe to create. I've been talking to you about this for a while, and the entire time, another more expansive idea has been percolating in the background. And it's this. Reframe to Create isn't just a solo project. It's not just about you as an individual getting a reframe so you can create. Reframing to Create applies to a more expansive audience. It needs to be because the reality is that we are individuals, yes, but we are always embedded individuals. We are embedded in communities. One impacts the other. Who we are impacts how and what our community creates, and who our community is impacts what we create. That's why it's time to ask a different question. Time to expand the question I always ask you at the end of each episode, which is, what will I create? It's time to ask a different question because you're not an island and I'm not an island. You're part of a team. Maybe you even lead a team. You're part of an organization or you're part of a movement. You certainly belong to a country. You're part of a community, a family, whatever it is. You're not just a me. You are part of a we. So it's time we expand our Reframe to Create conversation from just me to we, from just you to us. It's time to get a collective lens on what we're talking about. It's time to ask the question, what will we create? What does it look like when we reframe to to create. And now, more than ever, our world needs people who remember how to say we as much as they do me. Now, when folks in many corners are caving in on themselves and their own tribes, it's time for the rest of us to look up, reframe together, and create together. So what's going to be different now, you may ask? Well, nothing and everything. I'm still going to be talking to you as you, my creating maven. I'm still going to be talking to you, but you'll see that I'm not just talking to you about you, but also you in the context of your broader embedded community. I'm going to be bringing on more guests who will help us to expand our view and give us this reframe that takes us beyond ourselves to teams, organization, movements, and countries that we're a part of, and show how we can partner to create together. Because there's so much more we can create together than what we can create alone. So it's time for an expanded view of Reframe to Create. It's time to go from me to we. It's time for Reframe to Create 2.0. So here's what I'd like you to do as we prepare to make this shift. Ask yourself, when was the last time I created something with others? What was it? And how did it feel to create beauty together? What did I bring to that table as my contribution? I can't wait for this next phase of our journey together. I have an amazing guest coming up on the next episode who's going to help us make this shift from me to we, specifically in the area of storytelling. So tune in for the next episode 118, which is going to be with my guest, Brett Davidson. You do not want to miss that episode. See you soon, Creating Maven. Until then, ask yourself, what will we create?